Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, I'm out here on my survival challenge. I just put a video up on a 10-item survival kit showing the items that I was going to carry with me. And I have that little kit right here. This is my phone bank for charging my phone. I have my Ochco bush knife and my camera and my tripod. So back up this hill a ways is the road. I've been just dropped off out of a vehicle. My vehicle is quite a few miles from here. And as I said in that video, this is a survival challenge for me. Please go back and check that video out for more details on my kit and what I'm doing. But I've got to get down through some canyons where my vehicle is waiting, and I have absolutely no water. That's part of my survival challenge, is I have to find water. I have no water with me, and I got to find water. I got to take care of myself. I know my direction of travel. I don't have a compass deliberately because I know this canyon. I've never been in this canyon, but I know that this canyon, if I stay with it, will eventually connect into a creek, and my vehicle is parked somewhere on that creek. So let me turn you guys around and show you what I've got to get down into. So if you look there, that's where I'm headed. I've got to get down to the bottom of this canyon, and I got to follow this canyon for a long ways before it will eventually connect into where there is what is supposed to be a creek, but I don't know for sure if it's still going to have water or not. Again, this is a survival challenge, and I have 10 items with me in that pouch on my belt, which I did a kit on, or did a video on, and a filter straw, and an aqua pouch, which is a plastic bag designed to carry water on your belt, and is empty right now. I have no water or with me. So I'm just looking for a place to get down into that canyon where it's not so steep that I take a tumble first thing in the morning. And off and on throughout the day, however long this takes, I'll film with you guys. And prayerfully, I make it there today. I'm prepared to spend the night, build a pine needle bed, use my emergency reflective blanket and crawl into it if I have to. But man, that's a steep climb down there. I think I have a spot over here that, let's see. No matter where I go, it's going to be a steep walk down. But this looks like to be the easiest travel. And my number one goal, well, I guess my number one goal is to get out of here. But basically my goal is to get water. That's part of this challenge. I've just got these few small items and deliberately no water, so that I have to find water out here. So I'm going to pause you guys for a few minutes and work my way down into this canyon, bring you back. So one of the things I'm going to do, starting right first thing this morning, as I travel is I'm going to be chewing on pine needles. Okay, pine needles are rich in vitamin C. They also have something in them that increases your awareness, raises your energy, but there's also moisture in here. And they do have a bitter flavor to them. But to keep my mouth from getting cottony and dry while I'm looking for water and hiking, and even though it is early morning, it's getting warm fast. I'm surprised. It's going to be a hot day. We're in a drought. It's been in the 90s every day pretty much for weeks. Not a drop of moisture for weeks, and none in the forecast. So throughout my trip, until I actually get down and get some water, I'm going to be chewing on pine needles. And as I swallow the juices and finally the moisture and flavor of it's gone, I'll spit them out and I'll grab some more as I go. Okay guys, I've actually reached the center of the canyon floor. I'm still way up high and I have to follow this canyon for a long ways down. But this is what I was afraid of. This is where the creek was for the canyon. You can see that's a dry creek bed right there. And that was my concern. You can see all of this green foliage right here. It's all growing along where the creek would have been. But again, it's completely dry. So I got to work my way down through there, and we're going to get something else that I want to have with me throughout my day. I was waiting to get down here into some of this willow to get it. And I'm still grabbing pine needles and chewing them as I go. So let's continue on down through here, and I'll see if I can find that next item that I want on my journey. So as I keep working farther down into this canyon, guys, I'm just, I kind of figured, I was prepared for this. But as dry as that stream bed is, I'm following the stream bed right down. As dry as that stream bed is, it's pretty obvious that there hasn't been any water in here for a while. And it's thick down in here, and there's some fallen trees. So I'm actually going to have to hike back up the hill a little ways to continue on. I have to get back up on the hill some away from all of this thick brush, or I'm going to be just climbing through it and trying to cut my way through it. So I've been kind of going back and forth up the side of the hill onto a game trail I found, and then occasionally I keep dropping back down to that unfortunately dry stream bed. But I just came across this. That's elk. That's elk scat. And that's right off that little game trail that I've been following. So the elk have been coming through this canyon. And I know that they will know exactly where the water is. Obviously, this was a nice hole not too long ago, or before our drought hit. But right now, not a drop anywhere to drink. So I'm staying close to that game trail too, because I know from experience out here, and I'm dropping down into the stream bed again, that these game trails will go to water. And so if there is any pockets of water up here, those game trails are going to lead me to it. Here's my trail going back up into the trees. So I'm actually going to follow the game trail for a while again. And I'm still looking for something I mentioned earlier. Haven't quite found it yet. So unfortunately I didn't catch it on camera, but a wild turkey just ran down through the brush. He was hanging out right here. And what this is kind of a wallow. There's all kinds of elk tracks in the mud. And that turkey and some other wildlife have been hanging around this mud. And a couple days ago, there would have been some little puddles in here. Unfortunately, there's an elk track right there in the mud. Unfortunately, all of these little puddles are dry now, and it's just mud. And I'll tell you what, the mosquitoes are thick in here. So that turkey took off right down here through the brush, right in front of me. Nice. See what kind of wildlife I encounter down in here as the day progresses. Right now I'd like to encounter some wild water. It's cool down in here though, man. It is really cool down in here, but no water. So what I've been looking for, guys, is some willow or other plant like this right here that I could find a big enough piece off to make me a walking stick or spear. So I'm going to look this over and see if I can do that. Okay guys, I decided not to cut a walking stick. I was going to make a walking stick and a spear, but I couldn't find anything that was over 3 or 4 feet long that wasn't forking or becoming too thin. But as I'm walking down this canyon, all of a sudden I hear water running. I never ever would have believed that I would find water up this far. I figured it would be much, much later in the day. I've been walking for a while now because I'm not keeping the camera running, or you guys would just have hours of me walking. But it's been a while now that I've been walking down through here, and anytime I go up into the sun, I can definitely feel the heat coming on. Back down in here, I got to show you guys the vegetation. This is amazing. It is like a jungle down here, and it feels literally like it's at least 15 degrees cooler down in here. I mean, it is beautiful. That thick vegetation. It's amazing. Right there along the stream bed, but down here below me, I hear water. Oh, let's see what we got. Look at that. Look at that. It's coming back up above the ground right down here. My, oh my. Oh, what an awesome blessing. That's what I've been looking for. That's the biggest priority. Let's get down here and get some water. Wow. Well, that just made my day, guys. That absolutely made my day. Just back up around the corner. It's coming back up. This is the stream we've been following down, and it's been dry the whole way. So the water is still running underground, and it's come back up above ground. That's beautiful. And if I had to, I would drink straight from this stream. And I'm actually I actually think that I might be good, but I'm gonna not take any chances. So in my pouch, my little survival kit, I have my aqua pouch from Survival Resources. I'm going to fill that with water. And then I have the little Sidekick straw from Hydro Blue, which has the carbon filter on the end. And it's good for about, what, 50 gallons, and then you got to change out the end. But this is a brand new one. So I'm going to fill my bag and drink right out of that. All right, let's get this down in here. And I have my bandana, but this water's running clear, so I'm just going to go ahead and get some. So that water is actually nice and clear. I've got a couple little pieces of grass floating around in there. But, oh, it's cold. I'm anxious to get a drink. Let's all right. Let's open this up. Wow. I needed that. That is awesome. So I know from experience that even though I found water in this area with all this shade and vegetation, that doesn't mean that it will continue on. I've come to places like this where, you know, 20 yards from me, it could go back underground and then be dry again all the way down to the creeks. So I'm going to hydrate now, and then I'm going to put a liter of water in here and attach this to my belt and have water with me the rest of this trip down. Oh, that's good. That is good. What a nice find. All right, I'm going to dump that grass out and refill this again. The water's so clear, other than the few pieces of grass I got in there. There's no silt or mud or anything, so I'm not going to use my bandana. I'm going to save it for later when I get in the heat. Let's fill this up. Make sure you guys can see me. Okay. All right, that will go on my belt when we leave. So one of the 10 items in my kit, again, I did a video on that. Please go back and watch to see everything I'm carrying and why I'm carrying it. But just as I thought, the mosquitoes, gnats, pterodactyls, and other creatures are down here. So one of my 10 items was insect repellent. I want to get my exposed skin, my hands, my arms, my neck. They've been buzzing around my neck, my face. I even put a little on my clothing. So that's going to get me protection because they've been buzzing around me. Alright, so I'm going to load up and we're going to start following this stream down and seeing how far we can travel with water. Okay, so just to show you guys, I got my liter of water right here, actually draped over my knife sheath and my little kit. This is my power bank for my phone with my filter straw right here. So, as needed, we'll stop and hydrate. So I'm back up above that little stream. There's no way I can travel down there through that fallen trees and brush. But that game trail runs parallel. So we'll just keep following this game trail and see what we come to. And I still want to make, I mean, I've got a long ways to go. So I still want to make a walking stick slash spear at some point if I can find something a little bit bigger. All right. Okay, this is perfect. This is what I've been looking for. Some of this larger willow, I finally got down into it. Big, long, straight poles. And we'll go down here and check it out. And we'll make a spear and a walking stick out of one of those. Okay, I do not have a saw with me, and I do not have a large enough knife to chop. I deliberately just brought my Ochiko bush knife. So I'm going to have to bend this and cut it. I've got all these nice green ones to work with. This one here that's bent over is about halfway dry. It's something that's dying but not all the way dead. I'm going to try to work with it to start with. So I'll show you guys, I'm doing basically what they call a beaver chew. And I'm taking my knife and I'm carving down like this. And let's see that, make sure it's on the camera. I'm carving down and then I'll start carving on the sides like this and keep working it until I get it to where I can break it off. So that's what I wanted. And I'm going to get rid of the shorter end down here. And I'm going to clean this up. There we and sharpen this upper end. It's a little drier than what I thought, but it's not really brittle either. So I'm going to make a nice point on that. Get rid of that other end. There we go. It's hard. I'm trying to keep it on camera for you guys. Got a couple knots here I'm competing with. And some chest lever cuts here. Get some more material off. Okay, so I'm going to work that for a little bit and either cut or break off the lower end, make this about at least 5-6 feet long and use it as a walking stick, and I'm going to have a nice hard point. That's dry enough to where that's pretty hard, so just in case. So that's what I wanted. I got me a walking stick that's about 6.5 feet, maybe slightly taller, with a pretty decent point on it. Yeah, if I thrust, it's definitely going in. And right here, this is solid fat wood. I got to show you guys this as I'm walking along down here. If I needed fire, now it is fire season, and I wouldn't want to risk any type of a forest fire, but if it weren't fire season and I needed fire, that root rod right there is solid pitch. So somewhere not too far from here, I would probably get myself a nice fire going. And it's warming up, guys. Even down here, down in the shade, you can see the sun is coming up overhead now. So it's coming down here into the canyon, and I can feel it starting to warm up. It's still much, much cooler than what it's going to be when I come out of this canyon. But it's nice. And if for any reason this camera goes off, guys, I may have to, I'm to the point where I may have to stop and charge it with my power bank. So if for any reason the film just suddenly stops, the video stops, there will be a second part, and I will post it immediately after this, so that within a couple hours of this hitting YouTube, the next part will come right up behind it. So it's just one of those things that at this point it could happen. I actually may have to stop and charge the phone camera. Still chewing pine needles for the energy and the vitamin C and their awareness. 10 yards behind me, right back over here, there's water flowing. We were just back up that ways, and down here, as we're getting into less vegetation, look at that. This is the exact same stream where that water was. All of the water is gone, completely dry again. So there was a spot back there, I don't know, maybe 100 yards long, back up in there where there was water, and it came above ground, and then as it got back out here, less vegetation and more open, completely dry stream bed. However, I have a full liter on my belt. So I've got a liter of water. I've got a spear. I got my survival kit. And let's just keep hiking and see if we can't get out of here before it gets too much later in the day. I've been walking off to the side of that dry stream bed, and over here I found a little spring. So I've got more water now. It's coming up out of the ground right there. Everything above that is completely dry, and the spring's coming up out of the ground and flowing right down through here. So even though that main stream bed is dry now, I have found a small secondary water source. So I'm going to keep traveling between the dry stream bed and this new water source, because I know this water, I mean, it's eventually this canyon, and this water is going to flow down into the main creek in another canyon where my vehicle is waiting for me somewhere. I'm not sure where yet. That little spring I just showed you up there a ways is actually flowing heavier and heavier as I come down. And there's a game trail crossing it right here. The other side. So I'm going to use this game trail next to the water source to navigate for a while. I got to tell you, I am really glad that I have this water source with me now, and that I, in fact, you know what? I think we'll stop down here and we'll soak that bandana, because it might not look it because I'm in the shade, but it's hot and I'm sweaty. My shirt is wet with sweat right now. It's hot. So let me pause you guys. So I found me a nice little pool. I'm gonna get my bandana out and soak it and put it around my neck. That feels good. Oh, that feels really good. We'll just let that ride there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to stop this video. Remember what I said earlier? I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna charge my phone for a little bit, and then pick right back up hiking, continuing our hike down this canyon. So I'm gonna find a place to sit over here under a tree and let this charge for a little bit. And so there will be a part 2 following this video, however long it takes to upload the second part. We'll get it up. We'll get them both up on the same day. So just stay tuned, everyone.